Hello, I'm Daniel, and today's video will feature books. Specifically, I will be talking about the 7 Truman books that I've read. At the middle school that I work at, the students are required to read at least 3 books every quarter. They can read virtually any book they want to in the library, but every year there are 12 specific books that are nominated for the Truman Award. These 12 nominations, selected by the Missouri Association of School Librarians, are available for all of the students to read. So here are brief book reports on the 7 that I've read so far. The first is The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. It's a wonderful book. It's got a fantastic female protagonist that, even though I couldn't relate to per se, I was very much invested in. She's a princess who's immediately married to the prince of a neighboring kingdom on her 16th birthday. Not only was she chosen by God for an act of service in her lifetime, she suddenly becomes queen of an entirely different country. Throw in a dash of fantasy and plenty of swordplay, and you've got an intriguing story. It's not usually my genre, but it was a very good read, and the first of a series. The second book I read was Cloaked by Alex Flynn. This was a very good book. It's about a boy who lives in modern-day Florida. Suddenly he's thrust into a fairy tale adventure featuring a smoking hot princess and a ton of talking animals. Lots of laughs, a few good scenes, and a couple of surprises. If you're just looking for a fun book, I totally recommend this one. Next, I read The 11th Plague by Jeff Hirsch. It's a dystopian novel set in America after the war. The main character is a boy who follows his father around the countryside. Basically, they walk everywhere and try and scavenge useful items. After the boy is attacked, he has to find refuge in a small, isolated community. Part of the fun of reading this book is watching this guy who is very independent, having to socialize with a whole bunch of different people. It kind of blurs the line between right and wrong and black and white. It really begs the question, what would you do in this kind of society? As far as dystopian novels go, it was pretty fun. I liked it a lot. Next, I read The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. I'm going to be completely honest with you. For the first half of this book, I was very bored. Mainly because I'm an adult male, and this is a teenage girl in a boarding school in England. She moves there from Louisiana, and all she talks about for the first half of the book is really boys, studying, and there happens to be a couple of murders that look like Jack the Ripper had done it, but that's the only thing that really kept me going. Until BAM! Boom! The middle of this book gets incredibly exciting. This was a fantastic book to read. From the middle on, it was incredibly intense. It's the first part in the series that I'm definitely looking forward to. The next one that I read was Michael Vey, The Prisoner of Cell 25 by Richard Paul Evans. This is very much your middle school superhero story. Michael Vey, the lead in the story, is a guy who can control electricity. Suddenly he winds up on the radar of a school that really wants to take him in. Whether it's a good school or bad school, you'll definitely have to find it for yourself, but it was a fun read. The book kind of reminded me of X-Men, but in a good way. A fun book to read, also the first in the series. The next book was Variant by Robinson E. Wells. This book starts with a male protagonist who right off the bat asks the right questions. He's an orphan who suddenly gets a scholarship to a mysterious boarding school. When he arrives, 2 students try to escape the place. There are no teachers and there are no rules. And throughout the book, the main character is always asking, what's up, what's going on? He repeats himself a lot, but that's okay because he's legitimately questioning this weird kind of environment. Just when he starts to acclimate himself to the environment and actually starts talking to a girl, something awesome happens. I'm not going to say what happens, but as a sci-fi fan, it was pretty cool. Variant is also the first novel in a new series. And finally we come to Legend by Mary Lou. Arguably this is one of the best books on the Truman list. It's also a semi-dystopian future, but it has 2 main characters, a girl from the elite of society and a boy from the streets. From the beginning, this book grabbed my attention and never let go. The characters have their own voices, the world is built up and it's believable. Everything about this novel is seamless and fits in well together. It's the first of a trilogy that I really want to read. Well, that was my video. I've put a link in the description so you can see all 12 Truman Award nominees for this year. I definitely encourage you to read some of these books because they're well worth the effort. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to have a conversation about these books or any books in general, go ahead and leave a comment. And if you like my face talking about books and random other things, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Until next time.